Good morning, everyone. If it is morning where you are, for me it's 9 a.m. I'm in Ubud, Bali. Let's talk about pressure. So the body is actually a pressure system. It's constantly trying to balance internal pressure with external pressure. For people who are, don't have POTS and certain conditions, they only really experience this with a higher altitude or when they're in planes and so on. That's when we all experience it. But it seems that you guys are experiencing it all the time. And I'm going to work with an idea that perhaps we can balance the pressure because the whole of the fascia maneuver system is about moving pressure. So first of all, I'm working today from the bed because I am told the people with POTS have are much better in this position than having the feet too far away from the legs. So I'm going to work within a framework that is hopefully more comfortable. But also I want you to understand that what we're trying to do is not really stretching. It's all about moving pressure. Okay, so when you feel discomfort, if we just try to think of it as pressure rather than pain, and start to notice how we can move it, that's kind of potentially empowering. I would really like some feedback with you on how this works. Okay, so our first position, which you've been doing in a chair, is to take our right foot across the left. You can cross at the ankles. Now, if it's available to you, you can cross at the knees. And if it's available to you, you can wrap around. The other thing you could do is a version of this. It's all the same effect. But if you can go deeper into it, what we've done is thinking of the body as a balloon and we're moving pressure, is we have wound and we have cut off this point, like separating a section from the balloon. When we come to so this is zone 3. Zone 2 is the torso. Here we're going to pull up through the sex organs and pull the belly back to the spine. Now notice this has the added benefit of helping you sit up straighter. Okay, above this, I'm going to take my right hand under the arm and the left hand on top. So, okay, so the underarm is got its same direction as the knee. I'm going to turn my head to the left, again the same direction, but against that, I'm going to turn my body to the right. Here, so now I have wound off the balloon at the neck, zone 1, at the core, zone 2, and the legs, zone 3. Here I'm going to breathe in more, sipping it in, breathe in more, exhale. And as I let the air go, maybe I can wind a bit further. Here we go again. Breathe in more, breathe in more, exhale. And again, breathe in more, breathe in more, and exhale. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. In nose, out mouth. In nose, mouth. 3 more. 2, 1. Good. Now, lean forward. So you might be touching your knees, you might not. Looking left, rotating right. Inhale. Inhale more. Inhale more. Breath out. Breath in. More. Breath out. And again. Good. Breath in to undo. Now don't let go. Turn the head to the left and the body to the right. Breathe in stages. Breathe in. Breathe in more. Breathe in more. Breathe out. And again, breath in. Breathe in more. Breathe in more. Breath out. And again. Good. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Nose, mouth. Nose, mouth. 3 more. 2, 1. Lean forward. So my body's going left, my head's going right. Breathe in stages. And more. And more. Breath out. And again. One more. And again. And more. Breath out. Breath in. To come up. Undo your legs. So if you're able-bodied, you can go for a little walk. But otherwise, you can sort of drop in here, wherever, move around, notice what it feels like. You can pull one leg in and the other, just whatever makes you feel a bit freer. But then you get the opportunity to compare one side of the body to the other. And when I'm looking at it from this position, I'm literally seeing that my left leg is longer than the other. Also feeling that I'm longer through the right side. So let's see what happens next. Coming back to here, I'm going to do the other side. Now you can stay in that position and cross your legs like this if you want. Okay, but I'm going back here, so I'm presenting a balance. So I'm going to take my left foot across at the ankle or at the knee or wrap around. And I'm going to pull in my spinal pelvic lock. So pull up through the sex organs, pull the belly back to the spine. And I'm going to take my left hand under the arm and the right hand on top. And I'm going to turn my head right and spiral my body left, just like I did on the other side. Inhale in the mouth. Breathe in more. Breathe in more. Breath out. And again, breath in. Breathe in more. Breathe in more. Breath out. And again. Good. In through the nose. Out, mouth. Nose. Mouth. 4 more. 3. 2. Last. And leaning forward, so my body's going left, my head's going right. Inflate my body with breath. Breath in. Breathe in more. Breathe in more. Breath out. And again. Breath out. And again. Coming back. Undoing. Let it go. Moving. Now you might want to release through the hips. I find that I can lift one hip off the bed in this case, and then the other. It's one way to release. Come into this position, pull one leg in, and as I pull in here, I'm going to use that to roll my shoulders down the back, and I can pull in and roll my shoulders down the back. So just noticing what that feels like through your body. We're going to move pressure. So let's assume that sitting, well, actually, it's just true. We don't even have to assume. Sitting all the time actually starts to calcify the fascia from here, halfway up the rib cage, right through the thighs and the hamstrings, because they're not moving. So that the fascia, which is 70% water, which is basically a gel, also has the capacity to hold, and it's holding you in positions that you're in a lot. Now, this can also happen due to dehydration, which can be not about how much water you drink, but because you haven't got a good balance of minerals so that water doesn't get into the cells. Anyway, let's get this moving. So we're going to go one leg at a time, and we're just moving pressure. So I'm going to hold on to my ankle here on the top. I'm going to grab that flesh and I'm going to pull back towards me. So I'm going to dig into the flesh a bit and pull in towards me. I'm trying to stretch it. And if it feels a bit overstretched, that's a good thing. And within that, I'm going to flex and extend through that foot. Good. And then I'm going to circle. So I'm still pulling that flesh back. And I'm looking for that tightness in the skin and noticing that as I keep moving, it really should feel quite good to move those fluids that have been quite stagnant down there. Stop for a moment. Have a feel. What's going on there where you are? Then these tendons. Gripping as best I can. If it's hard to grip, it will be if you put lotion on, but if it's hard to grip, you could hold on to a sock or a glove or a piece of fabric to help you. But here I am pulling back on it quite strongly, and again, I flex and extend. And you can feel almost a ripping through the skin, but of course, that's not ripping skin. It's crystallizing the fascia that's got quite restricted. We think it's the aging process. It really isn't. Not if you age and keep on moving and keep on giving yourself the nutrition you need. So keep on going. Notice how it feels. Take it down. And when I'm looking at one ankle to the other, I can actually see a slight change in the distribution of fluid. Also, this foot is holding differently to the other. I find it quite interesting to watch what happens. Now, if I take my hand now below the calf and I grab that flesh, and again, I'm pulling back towards me. Now I can lean back to make it easier to pull. And again, I'm going to find that movement. So flex and extend and circle. Now, what's really important here is breath, inhaling through the mouth and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Take it down and feel. I was somebody who tended to get fluid retention in my lower legs. In Chinese medicine, they'd call it spleen qi deficiency. Since I've been doing this work, all of that's gone. So I can move fluid, I can move pressure, I can change things that have been there for a lifetime. Let's go behind the knee now. So I'm putting my hand in, press into that crease, pull the flesh down towards where you sit, lean back so that it's easier to hold the pressure. And from here, see if you can take it towards straight. Again, you're looking for that deep stretch, even slightly ripping sensation behind the knee. I'm not saying rip it, I'm just saying you're looking for a feeling that you're just opening up the fascia, which is in the skin. Here we go. Good. And then from here, I can circle the ankle and notice, because everything's connected, isn't it? So you can feel changes happening under your hands here. Take it down and notice. Okay, so I've done one leg compared to the other. When I look at me, I can see a difference in colour. I can see a difference in circulation. Let me change sides. Of course, you could be on a chair doing this as well, but I'm trying a different position for you guys today. So I'm onto my left leg now. I'm taking my hands on the top of my ankle bone there. I'm gripping and pulling towards me. Now I can add pressure by leaning back. From here, as I pull, I'm going to start to flex and extend. And then I circle. Good. The breath is my therapist. I want to breathe quite slowly. I don't want to come out of anything fast because the fascia will grab. I want to move slowly. Take your hands now behind, and I want to stretch into the Achilles. This will change things like fascia plantar, plantaris. You know what I'm trying to say? The word will come back. I fixed a really bad knee using these techniques. Pulling back through the Achilles tendon there, and here we go again. Breath in and breath out. So when I lean back with straighter arms, I can feel this is a full-bodied release. Good. And flex and extend. Then I can take my hands to the base of where the calf muscle is and pull back here. And again, I'm going to circle my ankle and feel the deep stretch through my calf and my shin there. Sliding up further to the back of the knee, pushing in and pulling back. So I'm pulling back, leaning back, and from here, getting this experience of stretch and then big breath in, big breath out, and again, just circling the ankles as I pull back towards my torso behind the knee. Good, and taking it down. So don't spend a long time on each thing. In this position, but I'm going to go back to this one. We can now come to the knees. So I can take my hands around the knee, pressing my feet into the floor, and take the flesh and turn the flesh around the bone. So I'm rolling out. Here we go. Just breathing in and out and in and out and again and again. And then I can take my hand behind the knee and roll out further. So I'm rolling that flesh around the knee. Breath in and out and in and out and in. So really holding. I'm hardly moving, but as a little bit more space comes up, moving the flesh a bit around the bones. I'm not changing the bones. And again, I'll let it go. All right, so stretch that leg out and compare it to the other. Notice whatever you notice, and I'm going to the other side. So I'm taking the flesh and rolling out with two hands, and I'm kind of breathing into it and also giving it a bit of security. It feels comforting to have my hands around my knees. Breath in and out, in through the mouth, out through the mouth, in and out, and again. And now I can take it a bit further, taking my hand around the back of the knee and rolling out a bit further. So it's around the bone. I'm not moving the bone. I'm actually stabilizing it by pressing down through my foot. Breath in and out and in and out and again. Good. And let that go. So noticing. Move your feet, move your body. It's all connected. What's it feeling like where you are? All right. So as I work on my left leg, it has an effect on my right arm, left foot, right hand, and vice versa. So explore your body now and just see what's happened, because like that balloon that we've divided into three sections, as we make adjustments to their pressure in one zone. It affects the others. When you move toothpaste, right, we're moving the toothpaste, but it affects the whole container. We are just like that. So notice how it is. We've done a lot in legs. We've done a bit in the center. That's probably moved pressure up, and we've got to move some of that pressure. So I want you to take the heel of your hand to the right temple and point the fingers back to the back of the room, and the heel of the left hand to the left temple and pointing the fingers across the forehead. Now I'm going to press into those temples, squeezing inwards before I start turning upwards. Then I'm going to pull that flesh upwards as much as I can and then cross my fingers on top of my head, but maintaining the pull upwards. Now I'm going to inhale through the nose, exhale mouth. Inhale nose to center, exhale mouth, going up. Inhale nose, exhale left. Inhale nose, exhale right. Inhale nose, left. Nose, right. Nose, down, still pulling up, and let go. You can feel the pressure adjust. What does it feel like where you are? Let's take our fingers now. Same theory. The pads of my fingers are going to go to this meaty bit below the cheekbone in front of the jaw. The right fingers are pointed back. The left fingers are pointed forward. I'm going to press into them, and then I'm going to turn up, but this time I'm going to pull down. Okay, so I'm really pressing into that pad, but I'm pulling down till the heels of my hands sort of touch. And then I'm inhaling through the nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth to the left. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth to the right. Keep going. And then inhale in the center, holding the breath. I want you to slowly open and close your jaw 3 times. Good. And exhale. Let it go. Notice what it feels like. Now, if you feel like almost a bit dizzy, it's probably just the pressure moving, the fluids moving. Stay with it and see if it improves. But if it's a problem, there are 2, or feels like a problem to you, there are 2 little balls, literally can feel tiny little balls like hundreds and thousands balls, but they're a bit bigger than that, in the corners of your eye there. And if you press into them with your eyes open and breathe and look, you'll watch the world come back into balance. This is on the bladder meridian. Okay, so just noticing how it feels. Let's take, and they've probably got a question now. Why are we doing things just in one direction and not doing the other? Because the fascia wraps. It wraps around the body. And in fact, the fascia existed first. It's within the fascia that the bones and the muscles and the organs and everything else developed. So we can think that it's the bones holding us up and muscles that get tight. But in reality, there's only 3 bones in the body that actually touch. And the muscles, if you took them out of the body, they don't get tight. This is what they do. But what does get tight is the fascia. The fascia is wrapped around the muscles and goes through the muscles. Now, when we speak the language of the body, which is working within this rotation, within this wrapping, and we move the pressure and we add intention and breath, quite an interesting thing happens. The body could suddenly reset. And sometimes pain and issues that have been there forever disappear a lot or disappear completely. You're being given tools to use every day, not just to turn up to class, but I love you turning up to class. All right, let's do one more. Let's take our right hand around, and I'm holding on to the neck there, and I'm pulling that flesh back towards the right, lifting my elbow, looking to the right. There we go. And then I'm also going to take, pulling that way, I'm going to take my left hand across the forehead and pull back. So now I'm kind of wrapping a fascia around my head. I need to add breath to this. Breath in and out, and in and out, and in and out, in, out. And that'll do you and do slowly. Notice what's going on right there. Feeling into your body, observing. Let's try one more. We've done this a number of times in the chair position with legs down. So you can still do that. But I'm going to keep the legs up. All my POTS people, I'd like you to take your left hand to your left shoulder, right shoulder, but this flesh behind the shoulder, I want you to grab that flesh, pull it up. So I'm literally pulling that shoulder up. And then I'm going to take my right hand to the left ribs and grab the flesh and pull it forward. Now I'm pulling the flesh forward towards the elbows on both sides. I'm looking to the right as I take the elbow over in the direction of my right knee. Actually, no, let's go again. Okay, I'm pulling forward, I'm looking to the left, and I'm taking my body over towards the left knee. That's what I'm doing. Breath in and out. Doesn't have to be much though. Breath in and out. But imagine you're breathing right into your hands. They could be right up here. I may not have gone very deep at all. One more. Good. And then I come out. And I notice this feeling of the fluids moving, pressure moving. Let's try the other side. So I'm taking my right hand to the back of my left shoulder. I'm grabbing that flesh and I'm pulling it up tall. I take my left hand to the right ribs, grab the flesh and pull forward. I lift that shoulder, look over to the left, and then I draw that shoulder over towards my right knee. Doesn't matter how far I go. I can go deep or I can just sort of stretch over in that direction. But the important bit, I breathe. I breathe in through the mouth and out through the mouth. In and out. In and out. And again. Good. And I breath. Scanning my body. Given position on it. Do I have more space? Have I moved pressure? How do I feel? If I am good for walking, please go walking until you find the right shoulder moving with the left leg and you find this cross crawling. Notice how you are. I will be here again on Tuesday, Friday. It's 9 a.m. here. It's 11 a.m. in Sydney, in Melbourne at the moment. And whatever time it is, thank you so much for joining me. I haven't seen you soon. And if you want to stay and chat, yeah, questions. Thank you.